Ah.
I'm sorry. Ed? No! I'm like, nah, man. You already know the trouble, Paul. You know you get 2 inches and it's like, ah, I gotta move again. That's some bullshit.
He wants you to do what he did.
I know,
He thinks you can replicate.
nah, hell no, I can't. I have a wheelchair.
Train not replicate.
Shoot a Krip dance. Oh, now I can do that. I see you up all day, boy. The real Krip. That's the real Krip. What you say? How do we look?
Oh, you look fabulous. Fabulous. Oh, yeah.
Hot and sexy.
Hot and sexy.
That's all
So probably cute.
See now, don't
right.
don't even think about it.
I just work here, man. I'm gonna do the host. Just to keep it moving along, moving along.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, you gotta get the gangster Negro look.
Right.
Whatever, y'all. You hard? You're hella hard. Hella gangster is what I'm gonna learn. Alrighty. So I guess are we ready?
She don't want it to cover, is that right?
One, two, check.
Oh, it's not on. Oh, yeah, you want me to turn on the.
One, two.
That
You.
sounds good.
Yeah, something that gives you microphone. Uh-oh.
Yeah. It's on now.
Well, that's a Facebook picture.
No, don't do it. No. Excuse me. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I
Leroy,
guess.
you want to move the music stand some?
Yeah.
We need this right here. Can we go like that? Now we're good.
Well, let's get the party started. All right, I want to welcome everybody. Welcome. I know we did some informal introductions. I will do formal introductions. We want to thank you for coming out to Krip-Hop, the movement, the music, and the message. We got what the tagline is, but we'll make it up as we go. All right. We have some wonderful people expressing their talents here today. We got everything from poetry to hip hop to comedy. We're gonna show the breadth and scope of talent that lies within the community that is often overlooked, overshadowed, and undervalued. So that's essentially what we're here to do it in a creative way. And then at the end, we will have the panel discussion, although I think with the group we can have a really dynamic roundtable discussion of how our art relates to our disability. Does it connect? What is the socioeconomic ramification of being a person with a disability that wants to be an artist, but more importantly, bring consciousness to the rest of society as it deals with accepting people who are not quote normal unquote, whatever the hell that normal is. I love when people go, I'm normal. Well, what does that mean? Well, I take Prozac in the morning.
Makes me normal.
Speak on that.
And I had to take my son to his counselor because he had some aggression issues. Like, oh my God, we're going to try to do it anyway. No, he's not disabled. He's all right. But so we're going to talk about that. We have a great lineup. great lineup. I'm going to bring up Leroy Moore to explain the genesis and the nature of Krip-Hop, and then we'll take it from there. Leroy Moore, come on down.
Hello, people. I'm so glad to be here. I'm so glad to see everybody here too. We were open for, quick turnout, but whoever comes. Yes, and the show must go on. So, Krip-Hop. Most of you know what Krip-Hop is, and really, basically, it's more than music. It's really advocacy and education around musicians with disabilities, and not only musicians, just artists with disabilities, and really taking back our music, our culture, our language, the whole language on Krip-Hop, Krip with a K, taking Krip back because, as most of you know, Krip was, used back in the day to just disgrade us. Then it moved up to the Crips and the Gangs because back then they had just say remember. So they're like, oh, we'll just call you Purple. And he's like, no, just shorten it to Crip. So that's the whole, not the whole, but that's the main history of the language of Crip. And it's so funny when Krip-Hop started, a lot of people today just don't understand the politics and the language behind it. They're scared to get involved with it because they think it's a Crips in the gang, it's a Crips in the buzz. And when they find out the whole politics of it, then it's too political. So it's like two sides of the stick. And even in Krip-Hop, a lot of artists, really don't understand the politics of it,
Even Obama.
Yeah. I mean, he knows, of course, all of us here do, but, a lot of artists are just thinking about themselves and thinking about the bling bling and don't really want to take on the politics and take on the advocacy of hip-hop. So I'm not going to stay up here and talk. I really want, all the artists to come and do their stuff. And, the show must go on. Thank you for all of you coming out. Nina G and Deb coming from London and Vivian coming, So thank you, and I'll give it back to Keith. Or
Right.
AKA Pizzo.
AKA Pizzo. All right, you do it. The floor looks shiny and it's sticky as hell. So, thank you, Leroy, for that. So, not disability friendly. All right. So, Leroy explained to you the larger nation of Krip-Hop. Now, just to give you a little background, and then we will talk about the artist lineup. Leroy found me on a long ago popular social site, MySpace. Oh, that's before it became a porn site.
Ain't that true?
Okay, it's like, hey, my name is Nancy. I don't know you, Nancy. Now I want to know you, Nancy. And we actually met up in Boston during the 2004 Democratic National Convention. And it was ironic because Kerry was running, and we tried to help the Democratic Party You know, you're supposed to restrain the laughter, you know. Okay. Yes, we were going to help the Democratic Party.
Yes.
But the irony was that when we went to the Disability Caucus within the convention, we were in this room, all of these disabled people, we sitting there, we looking at each other, they looking at me, I'm looking at them, and no politician, nobody from the DNC showed up. Until an hour and 15 minutes into it, then they were like, oh, we have your concerns, you're on the platform, we're going to talk to you, and then they left. And Leroy and I went completely batshit. Because the whole purpose is because as an advocate, your goal is to have people who are disenfranchised be included. And if you are any political party, whatever your affiliation is, the disability community basically is society. We're the only demographic that cuts across every socioeconomic class or demographic you could possibly imagine. There's only one other thing that does that, that's gender. And so when we had the discussion, Leroy said, well, hey, what about artists? And we talked about how do we use this? Because if you notice now, even the disability movement doesn't really move. Like, and that's not because it's disabled. No, it's just, maybe it is, or maybe it just don't move no more. It's like, that's my real disability. I'm not active anymore. But that's why we wanted to do Krip-Hop here as well. And again, we did hope for a larger turnout, but hey, disability has never been the sexiest.
No,
You know,
Or
unless you have,
disability sex.
yeah, disability say, hey, you know. Never mind, I just went off into my own little nasty world. But the reality is, even when you talk about larger political issues, and we have some artists here today that are going to do that through their music, through their comedy, through their poetry, through their speaking. The reality is we are globally, the World Health Organization put out a report that there are 1 billion people on the planet with disability of some form. 136 countries signed the UN resolution defining disability as environmental, not physical. So basically, wherever your community is, you're not disabled because of who you are. But since the community is not inclusive or inviting, therefore that makes you disabled because you don't necessarily have access to it. 136 countries signed it, and the United States is not one of them.
Why is that? Would they have to change SSI? Is that why?
Well, you know, hell no, they gonna cut SSI out. We just gonna be shaking cups on the corner in a minute. But
Right.
there's never been any reason for this. Because the UN Charter basically is structured loosely upon the Americans with Disabilities Act. But for 135 countries that signed it, it's their first and only disability-specific policy that protects individuals with disabilities in the global context. So that being said, I mean, how do people start moving this? How do revolutions start? How do revolutions move forward? They move forward through their speakers, their poets, and their musicians. So Krip-Hop in that form is really sort of the iconic way that movements have done it. Because even with the disability rights movement, we have, if you know anything about how it started because a disabled white man who lived in the Iron Lung wanted to go to college. And he didn't understand why he couldn't go to college. And he didn't get a, like, look, bro, it's not that simple. They started it in Berkeley, California, moved to Boston, Massachusetts, which is the second oldest independent living center. You jump forward 4.5 decades, the power structure still is the same. Typically, a spinal cord divided male who is the quintessential icon of disability. Now we move to a lot of other things. So that being said, that's the kind of context in which the art is kind of set against. That even within the disability rights movement, there is huge division. Whether you have a cognitive disability, a mental health issue, whether you have a sensory disability or physical disability, even along those lines. There are fractures and fissions, and they are systemically based on funding. Because if you're blind, you go over here. If you're deaf, you take your ass over here. If you crazy, good luck.
Thank you, Ray.
So, I mean, and then if you show up and you black, crazy, and you can't see, then good luck. Here's a cup, and your corner is right there.
And then you get cited for
Then
it.
you get cited for panhandling. But that's the context in which this art will be putting it. Particularly now in that hyper-political cycle where you literally are having men decide women's health issues. I mean, I am sorry,